If you're going on to think, already thinking, I am not fit enough for this race, I haven't trained enough for this race, what is that? How is that beneficial to that race? Guys, welcome to the video. Now I'm going to be talking about something that I think is pretty deeply philosophical, and it questions how you approach training, but it's really important, and how we see our training is really dictates what performance we get from our sport, specifically for sprinting and 400 meters. We really need to think about this because we might be hampering ourselves in how we approach our training, and I think that's exactly what we do, as most athletes do. One thing as well is this fitness thing. Fitness is commonly athletes, and I know I was the same when I was back in training as an athlete, is that I wanted to be fitter. I wanted to be fit for 400 meters because I thought that if I wasn't at top level fitness, then I wouldn't be improve as much as an athlete. And I think there's this absolute quest for fitness. Now, it's the quest I have a problem with, not the fitness. Now, as well as this, and there's a few caveats to this, because I don't want to say that fitness is not important or needed. It does. You need to practice your sport to get better at it. You need to spend time doing your sport to get better at it, and it over a period of time. Practice is something that's really important word, and I would like to get you as an athlete, as a 400 meter athlete, as a sprinter, to think about training as practice. You're practicing a movement of running. You're practicing the movement of 400 meter running. You're practicing the movement of sprinting. So you think of practice a lot better. That is a more considered way of actually thinking about training than training hard. Training hard is just blindly training in a direction with kind of very blinkered. It's just so kind of basic and kind of so primitive way of thinking about training. You're not practicing when you're training hard. That's not the focus. So you need to think about your kind of training as practice. The other thing is just that once you practice your sport, you gain fitness at it. So if you're practicing, shooting basketball hoops, I don't watch basketball anyway, but I'm thinking about a certain technique or something you need to practice. It's the movement of the arms. It's the movement of the body that you're practicing to get it right, not training hard. So once you practice a movement, you get fitter at it. So that we need to think about it. So fitness is a byproduct of what comes about it. But we have such a focus on fitness that we want to reach this fitness level that in realistic terms, we'll probably never get there, or we'll get there very rarely. And this is something that we really need to think of. Aren't we aiming for something, that fitness level, physical fitness, that we shouldn't be thinking. We're thinking about something it's like it's not trying to gain a perfection. Perfection does not exist. And you might think, well, it's all right to shoot for perfection. Why is it all right to shoot to perfection? You won't get there. So why do we shoot for something we're not going to get there for? And if we don't get there, the absolute thing, trying to gain perfection, just makes us feel less of ourselves. This is the other thing. When you think less of yourself, that is really destructive to your performance. If you think if you're trying to go for that fitness, and you're trying to get to that fitness because you think that's going to get you that fast time, then once you don't get there, which is going to be very often, and you're going to have to race when you're not fit. I guarantee it. You will have to race when you're not fit, when you don't think you're fit. When you don't think you're aiming for that, and you don't think you're fit, you're already thinking less of a person as an athlete. You're already thinking you're less of an athlete. And if you're going on the track thinking that, then how's that going to help you? If you're going on the thing already thinking, I am not fit enough for this race, I haven't trained enough for this race, what is that? How is that beneficial to that race? I know as an athlete previously that I've come back from an injury, from a month-long injury, from hamstring injuries, without training that much and done a PB. It happens because I take the pressure off myself. I focus on and say, I'm going to do it. There's no lack of doubt about my fitness. I said, I'm going to do a PB, and I went away and did it. I didn't allow lack of fitness to get in there and say, I'm not fit enough. And a lot of athletes I know do this, specifically in 400 meters. and think about, oh, I've missed a month of trainings, oh, I'm not as fit. How is that helping you? That's not how performance works. You've got to think of your performance as something releasing your body to perform. When you're thinking you're not fit, you're actually hampering yourself. It's like sprinting and running with a handbrake on in a car. If you actually drive a car with a handbrake on, it's going to be stick, isn't it? It's going to be, what the hell is going on here? And when you release the brake on the handbrake on the car, you're just going to push forward, and it's going to perform at its optimum. When you say I'm not fit enough for this race, or I'm not fit enough, you are thinking less of an athlete. That is not the way to think about. And this is really, really important. Trying to get that kind of elixir of fitness is destructive. It's aiming for perfection, which you will never get. You will need to race when you're not fit. It will happen. And what will happen is that you'll need to race when you don't think you're fit. That's the most accurate thing. And you need to put aside this quest for fitness to get there. I'm saying practice is important. Consistent practice is important. Consistently doing your sport is important. You'll get there if you consistently practice your sport. You'll get that fitness as a byproduct. It should be a byproduct of what you get, of practicing your sport. It should never be the focus. Your focus as an athlete is to run faster than ever before. It's not to train hard to gain fitness, to run faster than ever before. You're taking yourself off target. A weightlifter goes and makes a target of making a certain weight, of lifting a certain weight. He doesn't go and train hard to get there. He never trains to his maximum. Top level weightlifters don't train to failure. They don't. The focus is at performance and getting that weight, lifting that weight. You have to think about the time you want and focus on that time. Practice your sport along with it. Practice relaxation towards it. You have to think about your training as a low GI diet. We all know for health reasons that a low GI diet where the blood sugar levels in a diet are not raised. So eating rice. For some reason, people say that pasta is a good thing to eat, but eating low GI foods, lots of protein that lowers the GI, is a lot more sustainable throughout the day in terms of your diet. So you've got an even level of energy throughout the diet, throughout the day. You have to think of your training as that. It's low GI. You're edging your fitness up slightly, edging it up. You're not trying to overreach. This is the one thing of the quest for fitness as well. It teaches athletes to overreach in training, push themselves too hard, which their bodies can't recover from, which leaves them injured. It's like a high GI diet. It's basically you're training hard, and then injury hits you, and then you're back down to normal, to normal, low blood sugars, like a low energy. That's what a high GI diet does. Its blood sugar levels are raised, insulin brings it back down. Brings your high energy up there, and then back down again. You're going to be a low energy. You're going to feel kind of sluggish, and then you're going to eat more sugary foods to put you up there. And it's like that. Your training is like that if you're training hard. That's what it is. If you're training hard and you're overreaching and training and battering your body each and every training session, you're going up like that. Injury will stop you, bring you back down to normal. Your fitness drops, and then you're starting again with your training hard, training up, then you drop again, training hard. What you need is edging your fitness up slightly, practicing your sport in a patient way all the way. And once you do that, you start to gain fitness as a byproduct. Think about just carry on doing your sport, practicing relaxation in your sprinting, practicing the technique of relaxed running, consistent training throughout. Edge your fitness up slightly each and every time. As you go, you will gain the fitness you'll get as a byproduct. That is one thing. It's all about patience. That kind of focus on fitness, you will hardly ever get it. You will get it even less if you're training hard and overreaching in training. You will learn it. It will be stagnant. If you're patient, you might get there. But the point is, when you have to let go of your need for fitness to performing well. You have to make sure that because if injury hits, you're going to have to come back and train and compete when you're not fit. And you're going to have to be at your kind of optimum state of running. You've got to be kind of bloody minded and say, okay, I haven't had much training recently. I'll still do it. I'm still going to run fast. And that's what you need to take into every race. You can't take in this this doubt that you have into training because you're not fit enough. Your optimum performance can come by with lack of fitness. Your fastest race can come about, and normally does, when you're not fit enough. Release this need to be at your fittest to perform well. It doesn't do you any good. So hopefully that video was helpful for you. Just think about that, how you're approaching your training. Are you approaching your training in a patient way? Are you consistently training to improve yourself, or are you overreaching? Have you got this idea, I've got to be fit to perform well? It doesn't work like that. Release yourself of that. It's like going for perfection. You'll never reach there, and the actual quest for it will actually leave you deficient in yourself. It'll leave you with self-doubt because you're not at that perfect level of fitness. Hope that video was helpful for you. Please like, please share, and I'll see you in the next video.